and welcome to episode 8 of Code with Belbet. I think I've probably settled on that name at this point. Today we are going to take a look over the code. You may recognize this section from last episode. Basically, we are going to continue finishing this section up, and then these two right here. You can't see my mouse for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't know what to tell you. But this one and this one, oh, you can't see it because it. Okay, I have to click in it. Well, you learn something new every day. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Oh, okay, it is playing in the background. I wasn't sure if the YouTube music died on me or whatever. Anyway, so we're going to try and get these done and then move on to this one and see if we can't get any further in this section. The goal was to have this entire section done by the end of today, but quite honestly, that's not going to happen. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Any progress is better than no progress. You have to be willing to make progress. Even if it's just two words. 2 words is good enough, really. Okay, let's start my Pomodoro timer. Here we go. So first things first, we're gonna come back up here, and we've got this guy taken care of, but it's really, well, it's not that small compared to that one. So we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna do this guy. So we're begging for mercy on behalf of this concubine who poisoned us in our daydream. So we're going to, like a Bodhisattva of mercy, please reach title. Years and moved by your kindness, of course. Oh, not he. Gotta remember those pronouns, shit. Chengling he, not Wenchan he, Chengling he. Of course, relents and instead orders her to a Buddhist nunnery. In your daydream, he's dang it, where'd it go? He says something witty about how her soul may be redeemed thanks to your kindness, and that she should pray for your continued health. Emboldened in this reverie by regard, you recover quickly enough to enjoy the fruits of his kindness. Damn it, his kindness in return, and oh, Jesus, got an itch in my back. There we go. Turn and return to the inner palace, dripping in the jewels of his regard. There we go. Okay, and that should be good for that section. Now this section, we're gonna close this up because we've got that done. So we're going to close it up so that we can easily compare the two sections, the beginning section and then this choice. So, and keep in mind, these little carrots things, I just discovered those 4 episodes ago. Like, I was not using them before that. So they've already made a huge help in my coding process, and I've only used them for less than a month. Like, you cannot imagine how less confused I am now. Okay. Got that one. Got that one. And that one. So now... Wait, hold on. Oh, it's this we need carroted. Because we're working on this one now. Okay, so we're gonna... So this section is we're avoiding the Emperor. We don't want the Emperor's attention in our daydream, but we are a concubine. So this is where we get spicy with the putting a green hat on the Emperor. And if you don't know what a green hat means, look it up. In Chinese culture, it's a hilarious little reference. I love it. Okay, so... Okay. Void his eyes on you. Everyone in the palace knew that to garner pensions was to enter a game of life and death with your players, with your fellow players, all dressed in the soft silks, softest silks, and the sharpest of knives. Ooh, I love that line. Okay, not to shoot my own horn, but yay. What the heck? Hi. Thank you, my love. Ooh, looks tasty. Husband got me pizza. Yay! He's so nice. Hot. Gotta let it cool down a little bit. Unicorn, hold my pizza. I have this giant unicorn plush that my best friend gave me for I think it was my birthday one year. And it now sits next to my desk. And it is so tall, it could rest its head on my desk. And so now its face is holding my pizza. On the plate, obviously. Like, not putting pizza, fucking... Yeah, it's a white unicorn. I'm not doing that. No, there's a plate. All right. You had no interest in raising your rank, as that would only raise your family's rank, and your dislike of them is enough to make you wish for less. Okay. Instead, you wish to become one of the flowers drifting in the background, forgotten by the lofty child. Chungling child of heaven. And free to, if secretly, give your affections elsewhere. In your daydream, you imagine a scenario which might put you in close proximity with other such affectionate individuals, including your mind conjures the plague from stories of demon attacks heard when you were a child. Red sores oozing, but and fevers so high they claim lives. But you do not focus on that. Instead, focus on the imagined aims your illusory loved one might suffer. A sweet doctor might lose I'm gonna go with Ning. Oh, trying to save others. A foreign dignitary could fall victim to this disease more harshly than a what's the term? Not domestic. Citizen? Not citizen. Someone who dwells? Dweller? No, not dweller. Someone who lives in a country. Who lives in a land. Citizen. What? I need synonyms for citizen. There is no synonym. No, not denizen either. Is it? Synonym for citizen. Subject, national, native. That's the term I was looking for. There we go. 2 seconds. Eh. Okay, one moment. Okay. Oop, almost dropped my soda. I'm so sorry you guys are dealing with that. Hold on one moment. What the heck? Okay, there we go. Now it's a little cooler. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Stretched thin by the illness. Fellow servant, could our help perish and lost? Okay, there we go. And now each of these is supposed to represent another love interest. The court, a lost cause as the imagined plague must work its course. Imagine being under care. See the strain. Nope, not that. Okay. Here's where I think we need to separate it between the aromantic and the romantic players. I need to figure out how to do that. Okay. Oh, I actually already wrote it out for myself. Yay! Okay, so this is romancy stuff. And then non-romantic. Okay. Oh, no, I don't need that. Okay, so okay. So first things first, we're going to add another romance low. Whereas here, instead of romance, Okay, so remember I told you guys about how I set up the relationship algorithm, and there's several options. There's trust, attract, or sex attract, rum attract, and then platonic. And these are meant to basically represent how the player and that character have interacted. So if the character trusts the player, we add trust. If they do something that removes that trust, we remove the trust. Sexual attraction specifically is how the character thinks of the PC in terms of, are they sexy? Romantic attraction is, do they think of this person as a good romantic interest, somebody that they want to spend their life with, build a life together with, marry someday. Whereas platonic, PLAT, that's just the platonic friendship that they're building. If one of them is super, super low, then it's going to keep that relationship from going too far. So we want to make sure that they're not all super, super low from the very beginning, if only so that this works properly. Okay. To help him rest for just a moment. Imagine becoming Oasis. That's not how you spell Oasis. This is how you spell Oasis. I promise I can spell. I know how to spell. Sorry about that. As more and more of the patients find themselves adrift in disease. Imagine late nights spent together, despite the poring over medical texts, sting that the what the hell is the name of that mark I gave everybody? What the hell? Hold on. Let me pull it up here real quick. Where'd it go? Oof. Oof. No. That's not what I was looking for. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. It was intro 2. Seal. Ah, seal of purity. There it is. Okay, and here we're going to put in a reference to their work again. Because again, we want them, this is a daydream that they're having while they're working. So we want to make sure that we occasionally include bits that's going to basically bring them back into the reality of what they're doing. Thing it. To the bone. As your hands sting from the hot water, from the near boiling water. Wash pots in. Wash pea sets in. Now that it's your turn. Oh. No, text. Okay. Now we can do the same thing basically, except we turn it into okay. What? Oh, yeah. Okay. So because back in Tang Dynasty China, and other dynasties as well, but Tang Dynasty especially, women were given a lot of freedom. And so what that means is they could actually become female physicians and work in the court. That said, they weren't, how do I put this? It was not perfectly equal. Women had a lot of more freedom, certainly, but they were still considered, you know, women compared to men. In this case, because we are working with 3 genders, essentially, and not just 2, and before anybody comes at me, yes, I know there's way more than 3 genders. I'm just saying that that's what I'm working with as far as variables go. We're putting it as physician for male, female physician for women, and physician again for non-binaries, because of the simple fact that that's what it would have roughly been. And one of the interesting things about the Tang Dynasty and several other dynasties too is that sometimes the emperor would gift his concubines to people as wives. I don't think there's ever been a case of a concubine leaving, you know, from being a concubine, but screw it, it's a daydream. We're gonna let them have that and then tear it away from them later on in the game. That'll be fun. Okay. This as a conc. Pause and rewind and turn back. It would to practice and still. Oh, I'm eating. Okay. We got about half an hour left on this video. Think. Yep. We're gonna take a small Pomodoro break. And then so basically this whole section is meant to kind of give the PC a thought as to what their life could be in the future, to get the player's mind running wild with what options they might have, so that later when the path narrows on them, they feel a little bit of the restrictive sense of what it means to marry into the inner palace. It's meant to kind of evoke the childlike wonder of seeing something just out of your reach, and then when you finally get it, you realize, oh, this was not as shiny as I thought it was. Remember, everybody, take small breaks occasionally. You do not want to rush yourself on any of this. Also, I'm gonna be honest with you, I might not have time to do it, but I am considering it. If you can think of a specific mechanic you want me to do a video on, put it in the comments and let me know. And I'll see if I can arrange a video specifically explaining that mechanic, and how to set it up. I'm not great with a lot of this stuff, so I'll try, but I do not purport to be an expert in any way, shape, or form. There are much better resources than me. I'm not gonna lie. But I know some people are visual learners, like myself. And again, I learned basically all of this by reading the forums and by code diving in other people's games that I had bought. So I would very much recommend doing that. I wonder, am I the only person who's coding in Choicescript on YouTube? Oh my god. Well, there's Dan Cox. And Dennis G. Durs. And Brushman. Looks like there's a couple of options. I'll link to some playlists below. That way you guys can do further research, I guess, if you need to. And then that way you have more than just me as a reference. I would very much recommend, especially, looks like Brushman, Brushmen. They have a playlist up, and they also use Visual Studio Code. And it looks like they show you how to create, or how to put the Choicescript language extension in there. That might be something you want to take a look at. Okay, and time to get back to work. All right, let me double check my VC face real quick, make sure it's working. It is. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this one now. Okay, make sure there's a space here. And then we're going to remember what we did up here for this guy. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to lock this in here. And we're going to block this in here. No. And you know what we're gonna do, because I don't feel like doing this each time, we're just gonna ow, there we go, got that taken care of. Now the first section was this little blob here. What we're gonna do is seen flowers before. What is that word? Fuck. Country lines, borders. That's the borders. Been open for years now. For decades now. And trade is flourishing along the Silk Road. But you've always found their strange faces. Staying. Curves and eyes so different from your own. Imagine one such face. A scenario which you are this person. Do you imagine two of you discuss court politics? Doesn't at your arranged time. Find. Nope. Okay. Divided. Sing. Oh god, I forgot it's something important. What's that? Tracked percent plus low. Percent, motherfricker, percent low. There we go. Worst of the sweat of skin shimmer. Breath. To whisper. is the term here? Oof. Gotta pop my neck. Ugh. Some... to... See, I don't have Cav as deeply mentally understood as the rest of the love interests, because I made him and Ning after the other love interests, and Ning was an easy archetype for me to understand because, well, he's a doctor, he's compassionate and sweet, and he likes cowards. That's what I did. But Cav likes bold and dangerous people. He likes that. It's that song, How to Be a Heartbreaker. Boys, they like a little danger. That's him. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly... Oh, I know. There we go. That's a good daydream. Right there. That's the best. Okay. Then we just have to do it for a platonic version of that. Okay, so I explained this in previous videos, but just in case you've forgotten, the character singular tag is so that when I have like a he here, he miss, they misses, something along those lines. When he misses, they miss. I messed that up. And basically the singular version, aka he and her, go here, and then the plural version for they goes here, and then that way it conjugates it properly depending on what the gender of the character is. And that's just a multi-replace. It's a real simple thing. You can find that code framework on the forums if you look. It's not hard to find. It's all over the place. And an easy way just to mentally check whether or not the I don't know what's going on with my VC face right now. What the hell? Okay, there we go. An easy way to mentally check whether or not the singular is needed is just to, whenever you get to like a him situation or her situation or his or anything like that, just mentally run through his, hers, theirs, him, her, they, their, whatever, that kind of thing, and read it through with those three options and see if it makes sense. That's what I do. Like, for example, you track him, her, them down and find the plague has entrenched itself in his, her, their body. See? That's how easy. And I'm nursing back to health. Your dedication is a true camaraderie. Two of you. So that when your foreigner exits port, he, she, they sneak away with them. If him, her, they, with her, with them. Away back to their own. Run away. Care less. Guides rest of the world side of her home. There we go. And keep in mind, I'm writing the foreigner option that makes them want to run away because that particular PC at that particular time has suffered massive trauma, and running away is absolutely natural for that thought process. Okay. Then go. Okay, but we don't have any references to their work in here. So we're gonna find a way to put that in there so that, because we want them to remember where their character is. T. Go. There we go. See? That works perfectly. Side. There we go. Okay, so that's that section done, and we've got about 2-3 minutes left of this video, so I'm not even gonna start on this palace guard section here. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, like, I don't know, stuff, something. I'll figure something out. Oh, let me show you what I did for the ending page. So here's my ending page, and of course I've got the copyright that's required because this code is not ours. Somebody else made the code, so we've got to have the copyright stuff, the licensing and all that. And I made sure when I did the ending, I made sure that it was going to be usable by me. So I'm gonna thing and end game, so you guys can see it, what it's gonna look like in the game versus in the code. So as you can see here, it's all very simple. I use the links so that they can easily get to places where they can contact me with notes as to what may be going wrong with it. And then I also made sure to put notes on what they need, or what I need when they're submitting errors and such. And then a link to this playlist right here that I'm making right now, so that they can see all of that. And then there's a sneak peek of an actual ending where you die. So that's fun. This is the style sheet. I'm gonna be real honest with you, I have not messed with that. This changes the look of this right here. It changes like colors and shapes of letters and fonts and all that shit. I would not mess with this unless you were like real good at coding at all. Just like straight up don't, okay? The great thing about Visual Code Studio is when you've got colors like this, you can actually select from a palette and it'll auto put the RBG code there. Then that way you don't have to try and figure out what it is yourself. I think. Let's see. What else do I have here? I suppose I can give you a tiny rundown of like the coding for the testing. So what I did, and I found this on the forums, so it's easy enough to find. What you do is you just set up the alpha testing variables, and you create these, and then set this so that if alpha testing is true, it shows this, which is that which is this thing right here, and lets me go to wherever in the game I need it to go. But in order for this to work later on in the game without breaking it, you have to make sure you have every single one of your variables here set to something. Because if you don't set them to something, like for example, if I did not have these set, they would not show up. If I didn't have any of these set, I wouldn't be able to go to specific sections of the game because those sections rely on these variables being true, so on and so forth. So you basically have to have two lists of all of your variables in your startup menu, one of which is the create and one of which is the set for the testing. So that is definitely something to keep in mind if you're going to be using this as a testing method. I very much like it. It works pretty well for me. So if you want a little more in-depth on that, I guess I could show you how to put it together for a new game. But again, I don't know when I'll have time for that. So don't expect it too quickly. All right, and at this point, this is the end of this particular episode. Thank you all for joining me again. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys like the sneak peek into the back end of creating a Choicescript game. I know it's not exactly a tutorial or anything, but I figure seeing someone do the code will help you guys learn a little bit more than just, you know, watching a tutorial and trying to copy it. So that you can see how it gets put together. All right, thank you again, and you guys have a good night. Bye.